Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So as many of you guys know, we're working on the BMW E60 and these videos are not going to stop, at least for now. And that's purely because I have a lot to do on this car, and as I did say to you, this has been a project in waiting, and it's been waiting for a very, very long time to get this car back to being perfect. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to replace a very, very common failure part on these BMWs, especially on the N52, N53, N54 and N55 engine. This part BMW used a lot of the time and it always failed, and it happens to a lot of BMW owners, and many people do overlook this part, and I'll tell you simply why. And that's purely because when you take it to a garage, this part's so overlooked that most people blame it for a head gasket failure when it's simply not the case. And I'm going to be showing you what part we're going to be replacing right now.
Goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo. When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you know.
Okay guys, so what I'm going to go ahead and do quickly is I'm going to take out this right here, which is the lower radiator hose. And the reason for that is purely because, as many of you guys know, this one deteriorates and it also can crack. And bearing in mind, I'm not still sure if I'm going to be changing the water pump thermostat yet. I am going to get this off regardless and change it over because I do have a new one. So this is going to be the first thing you're going to be seeing me remove, which is the lower radiator hose. And it's not a hard job at all. Coolant is drained already. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip the locking clips and take it out, and obviously take out the coolant temp sensor as well, which is inside there. And we do have two new ones to go in. So before I pull this lower radiator hose, I'm just going to get a bucket right there to catch all the coolant. That's going to come from the leftover coolant that's left inside the hose, as well as the thermostat and water pump. We'll just leave that to continue to drain. And while that's obviously still draining, we're going to go up to the top and disconnect the top part so we can completely disconnect that lower radiator hose. So now the car's back down. Now we've got to put our hand down here, disconnect the plug and the coolant temp sensor, and we're going to have to disconnect the hose from down here. Now you are going to have to use a torch when you do this as well to try and see where the locking clip is. And now we've got the hose disconnected, we'll lift the car back up and take it out from underneath. Okay guys, so now we've got the lower coolant hose out. We've now got the new one here, which is a Gates one. And if you can see, it doesn't come with a coolant temp sensor. So I've had to buy a new one. And if you can see, this is the coolant temp sensor hole, and this is where you want to put it. So that's the new one right there. Be careful, it is on the right side, which this one is. And then you will see here, it will just literally slot straight in perfectly. And obviously you can see there, they come with new locking clips, so you don't have to worry about that on both sides. So we'll just click that up and then get this in and plugged up. That one's on. Now we'll just clip this one onto the thermostat. Just like that. They're all now on. And now that's ready to now put the plug back on. If we can reach up and do it, which I can, just like that. That's the coolant temp sensor plug on. Everything's properly connected. So there it all is, guys. It's all back together. Now we've done the lower coolant hose. Let's move on to what this video is actually about. Okay guys, so as you can see here, we're now at the oil sump. And what we're gonna be doing is now draining all the oil, because like I did with the coolant, I wanna get the oil out of it, because no matter what, when we replace everything on this car, we're gonna be replacing the oil, filter and everything else. So we are gonna be draining the oil. So I'm just gonna crack this off right now. And as you can see, it's now unloosened. So we'll just undo the sump plug. Then we're gonna put our drainer underneath so it all can come out. Just like that. The oil will now drain, and we'll just leave it to drain out completely. So we'll just leave that all to drain. You've got to remember guys, this has gone way over an oil change as well, because I knew I was gonna be taking this car apart. So this car's well overdue an oil change. You can see how black the oil actually is right there. Okay guys, as you can see there, it's just finishing draining out now. And the reason I'm draining this is very simple. You'll see in a minute when we move to the top. But I'm draining the oil, I've drained the coolant, we've drained everything, and literally we're almost ready to go now. As I said, I am draining every single fluid on this car, losing every single fluid, everything on this car, and overhauling everything. So even the transmission at some point is going to be drained and serviced as well, because I'm literally flushing every fluid so I can get this car absolutely pristine. So as you can see, it has stopped now, so I'm just putting in the sump plug to retighten it again, and we're just going to tighten it up. Obviously, we don't want to forget tightening that, so we'll just tighten this one up. And just like that, that one's tight, and that's done. Okay guys, so now we're at what you've actually clicked on this video regarding, and that is the oil cooler gasket itself. So I am going to be replacing this oil cooler gasket, and that's purely because it is leaking again. I don't know why. This has only happened 2 times to me so far on this car, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because the gaskets weren't originals, even though I buy L-ring all the time, which you guys can see here. These are L-ring ones. I always use the same one. I mean, the seller still sells these where I'm getting them from. They are original L-ring ones, so I don't understand why it keeps leaking. I don't know if it could be one of the self-tappet bolts down here. I'm not sure, but we are going to be replacing it anyway. Yeah, I don't think it should leak again, because bearing in mind this hasn't leaked the whole time we were driving. I only believe it's been leaking because it's been sitting, because I started noticing it on my garage floor when it was parked in here. It was leaking at the front coming from the oil cooler, and I think it might be because just sitting outside in the cold, the heat, all the summer, not moving, it could have damaged the gasket. So I am just going to replace it anyway for another one. Very, very easy to do, and this is why you guys have to make sure you replace these on your car, because they do leak, and they will leak onto all your belts down there. Not only that, garages will misdiagnose this with a blown head gasket because the coolant and the oil ends up mixing together, which many garages, when you take it there, will think it's a head gasket, which it's really, really not. It's the gaskets that between the oil cooler and the oil filter housing that causes that to happen and causes a false diagnosis of a head gasket, which these cars do not suffer really from a head gasket failure, not that I've seen anyway. So let's get on to removing the oil cooler. Now we've got the oil out, the coolant now, and put this new gasket in. Obviously, many of you already know how easy it is to probably replace these. Many of you would have probably already done it. See that the bolts are really tight. So that's why I don't understand how it can be leaking. But obviously, there's always a possibility. So you can see there, I'll just remove all the bolts from here, just like that. And then there's one at the lower bottom here, which you're gonna have to remove, which we've just done. So there's 3 bolts, and a lot of people do miss this one on the bottom, or they end up stripping it, not knowing it's there, and that can cause a world of problems, especially if you strip that bolt out. So do be careful when you actually remove this oil cooler, and there might still be oil and coolant in there. So if there is, you do want to be careful and make sure you put like a cloth down there or something. I mean, me, it doesn't matter because it's going to go onto my floor, and I'll just clear it up anyway. But for many of you that's going to be driving your car after, pull it on your belts, so your belts don't get covered in oil. See here, I'm just removing the other stud from the oil cooler, which is another one. We're just going to take out the bottom one. A lot of people ain't aware that these are actually self-tapping. So if you do cross-thread them, you possibly could re-tap the threads. But if you can't, you'll have to buy a whole new oil filter housing to redo that. And if you can see there, we have got quite a bit of oil coming off, which is what I expected. Not as much as I thought though. As I've drained it, you can see right there. So I'm going to clean that up. So I'll just clean all this up now while we're here. And you can see the gasket looks very, very brittle as well. And it looks to me like it has been leaking. I would say it's been leaking definitely. And you can see what I mean. As you probably can see, I'm cleaning up the belt area. This is what I mean about it leaks onto the belts, which then can cause a problem and derail your belts because it leaks straight out onto them. And the gasket is quite perished, you can see all here. So that's the reason for our leak already on this car, which I can see, because them gaskets shouldn't be like that. That one is very badly perished. As I said, it is to be expected though, because of it has been on here all weather, and you can see that I'm just taking it out. You can see what I mean all here. It is really badly perished all around here. There still looks fine, but here it doesn't, and that's not good. So we have got a new one, and as I said, this is an L-ring one, and I keep using these. And as I said to you, I've got a feeling it's just purely because it's been sitting for over a year and it started to leak. It's to be expected, not being driven, and obviously just starting it and moving it about isn't good for any of your gaskets on your engine anyway. So I'm going to fit this new one straight in. And then as you can see, that's the new gasket in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the oil cooler back up there. And you have got an alignment pin right here on the oil filter housing, which you can align it with. And you need to get the bolts first to be able to do that. So I'll just do that. And we'll just align the screws. Then you want to get the middle one in, so don't over tighten the two top ones, because otherwise you won't get the middle one in and it won't line up properly. Then you hold it in place while you tighten it down. Don't tighten them up too tight, because you don't want them too tight just yet, because you need to put them all down at the correct sequence, because the middle one's meant to be tight before the corner ones. So the one in the mid-center here, which I'm tightening, that one has to be the tightest, which pulls all the force into the oil filter housing, but not too tight, because otherwise you'll strip out the threads. Just like that. And now we'll do these two, just like that. And then this one, and just like that. The oil cooler gasket is changed. Now this is a job you can do at home on your own. And if a garage is telling you that your head gasket is gone, I would strongly recommend to check this before you go anywhere else, because these are known to mix oil and coolant together, and so is the oil filter housing itself, the gasket on that, because of the passages where the coolant and the oil flow through, and it's not meant to touch. That's what the gasket's for. It's not meant to meet, and the gasket stops the coolant mixing with the oil. And they're very, very well known to fail on these, and a lot of people will fail it as a head gasket failure. So do your own research, and if garages have told you that, believe me, go and do the job yourself. It's very, very easy, and it can be done at home. Okay guys, so as you've seen there, we've now got another 2 jobs complete on this BMW E60. Now, as I said, me replacing the lower radiator hose does not mean I probably won't replace the water pump and the thermostat. I've just replaced that just in case. And if I'm gonna replace the thermostat and the water pump, I'll just take that off and put it back on after. It's not a big deal. But as I said to you, I'm still not sure if I'm gonna replace the water pump and thermostat on this car yet, because it was changed in 2014. And as I said, if you had seen the previous video on the mileage, to be honest, it would be a bit too early to actually change it and wasteful. I do have the water pump and thermostat here. And as I said, if anything, I will be doing that on the 6 Series, because that one's probably the one that hasn't been changed. But I know this one has, based on the date and stamp on the water pump and the thermostat itself. So as you've seen there as well, if you do take your car to a garage and it is forcefully diagnosed as a head gasket failure, do make sure to check your oil cooler gasket and your oil filter housing gasket. They are commonly overlooked by many, many garages. Many garages will have you strip the whole engine down, and then that problem will still be there because they overlook them 2 simple, very cheap gaskets. You can pick up the L-ring one for about £20 and another L-ring one for the oil filter housing for around £23. They're really not expensive, and it's something you can really do at home. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope you're enjoying this series on this black BMW 60, and I look to continue with this black E60, because as I said to you, we have still so much to do to complete this car. Thank you very much for watching this BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.